Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Like a Bad Neighbor podcast. We are on episode 7, January 18th, 2026, Division Weekend. Another high energy, drama filled weekend of football. Very exciting games. There was 4 on the slate. You had the Bears and the Broncos on Saturday. You had
Bills, Broncos.
Sorry, I said Bears, Broncos. Bills, Broncos. Then that was the first game, right? And then what was
Game 1?
Game 1. What was the second game?
Then you had the 49ers Seahawks, which was kind of like just a forget about it type of game.
Yeah, we don't even have to spend that much time on that game. Not much to talk about there. And then we had today's games, which was the Pats and Texans, and then we capped it off with the Bears and Rams. So I guess we'll start off with the first game, probably the one that had the most drama out of all of them, Bills and Broncos. That was Josh Allen. I'll start off by saying this was the year to do it, right? Everybody's been saying no Joe Burrow in the way, no Patrick Mahomes in the way, no Lamar Jackson. This was his time. No better time than now. He couldn't get it done, man. And he played his heart out, made some mistakes in the first half, and then he left it up to chance. And then we'll talk about how everything unfolded at the end there. But what were your impressions of his game in that first half?
It's tough because you said it last week or on our last pod. He was going to have to be Superman. And he certainly put the entire team on his back. I feel like he was let down a little bit. Like Cook fumbled in plus territory and gave one away. He had, I think, 4 total turnovers.
Yeah, let's
I think
pull up the stats.
I think he had 2 picks and he had 2 fumbles.
He thrown 2 interceptions.
And lost 2 fumbles, right?
And lost 2 fumbles. That's brutal, man.
No, dude, but still gave his team a chance to win the game. Took the lead. Took the lead against a very tough Broncos defense.
That second quarter killed them, dude. Like, they gave up all those turnovers. Broncos ended up scoring 17 in that quarter alone. Mm-hmm. And, by the time it was all said and done, they were up 20-10. Going into the half, the Broncos. And then, Josh Allen, the late game heroics came through in the second half. He scored 13 in that fourth quarter. It's just tough the way it ended. Hold on 1 second. The breathing is crazy.
What, for me?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah, we'll edit that part out. But just when you're not talking, just try to pull the mic away.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless you have a noise gate you can put on that thing. I don't know.
Nah, don't worry about it. Okay. I got you.
All right, cool. So, yeah. Overall, I mean, Allen threw 25 of 39, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, took 3 sacks. James Cook had a phenomenal day on the ground. The Broncos couldn't stop a nosebleed on the run, bro. 117 yards, 24 carries. It's just... Man, that fourth quarter was nuts. I missed pretty much all the game because I was at work, but I was listening to a lot of it, a lot of back and forth. It just goes to show you that even if you make it to the postseason every year, right, and you tell yourself this is the year, nothing's guaranteed in this league, man. Nothing.
And the worst part to me is, listen, we haven't even gotten there yet, but just the calls at the end of the game, it shocked me. And to me, a little bit shame on the NFL. That I can't believe that the most controversial play, the interception, that shouldn't have been or should have been, depending on what side of the aisle you're on. But there was a very, very similar play that happened tonight with Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
And it was ruled a catch.
Yep.
I don't understand, especially if you go back and at the very least, it felt like it warranted a review. They didn't
Yes.
even review it.
Nothing, dude. The refs almost rushed that play to like start the next play. And like it just goes to show me that I don't know the rules of this league anymore. What I thought was a defensive pass interference isn't what it used to be. What is considered down by contact now? When Cooks brought in that ball, it was cradled in his stomach. The defender landed on him at the same time. Yes, I understand you need to maintain possession throughout the whole thing.
Survive the ground.
Survive the ground. His knee was down. His knee is down. He has possession. The play is dead. That's what I thought was down by contact. And for them, like you said, for them to not even take a look at it, man, under 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And then you have this jerk-off McMillan who made the great play of what they call an interception. He's out there on the field just taking his helmet off, just like celebrating with the fans. How do you not call him for a 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct? Nobody's talking about that.
At the end of the day, I mean, all it would have done is like they wouldn't have lost possession of the ball at that point. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
but they shouldn't
unless
have
the call
penalized.
was
It could've-
reversed. But no, I understand.
could've
Listen, I'm not
happened.
even.
Every yard counts.
I'm not going to begrudge them on that. The other thing that really would have ticked me off, especially if I was a Bills fan, just even as like someone with no true skin in the game, I can't believe that they let him play the entire game, and then all of a sudden they decided to tighten up in overtime, of all places.
Yeah, they let
Those
them
first
play.
2 PIs, like you could have very easily just choked on those whistles and just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Super easily.
I remember Cooks had a play on the series before that interception where he went up for a touchdown grab, and the defender who was on him was all over him. They didn't call pass interference on that. But then you're starting to tighten up the calls within 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. Why? If anything, it should be the opposite. Let the players play. You know, these guys, these refs aren't true professionals. They're part-timers. They're lawyers. They're accountants. You know, like, stay out of the way. Stay in your own lane. And I'm going to call everyone out that was part of that broadcast team, from Jim Nantz to Gene Steratore to Tony Romo. You guys are complete NFL shills. You can't convince me otherwise that these MFers are not bought and paid by the NFL to agree with everything that happens on the field. And not only that, I'm looking at the highlights because I missed the game. I missed like a 95% of the game because I was at work. So I watched a lot of the highlights on YouTube. You have the NFL YouTube not even include the clip of that interception. How do you leave that part out of the highlights? That's unbelievable. You purposely edited the most important play of that entire game out of that highlight reel. What is going on, man?
It was the most impactful play in the entire game. If you're not even going to show that, it just kind of goes to show you that, like, you're trying to... When you do things like that, it looks like you're trying to sweep it under the rug.
Yes.
When it looks like you're trying to sweep it under the rug, it makes it seem like there's smoke or fire. And this is when you just open yourself up to all these conspiracy theories about how the NFL's, picking and choosing, there's officiating scandals, the games are rigged. Like, all you're doing is just adding more fuel to the fire. And maybe that's what you want at the end of the day. Maybe that's what they were looking to accomplish anyway. And
big
if so,
brain stuff, Justin. Big brain. I see where you're going.
No, listen, I'm not trying to feed into that stuff either. But
it gets people talking. It gets people clicking on page views. It gets people talking about the NFL. Maybe it was done intentionally. You never know. And then for the 2 plays that occurred after that, the ensuing drive after that, the Broncos ended up getting 54 yards in penalty yards to ultimately end up with a 25-yard chip field goal to win it. Those plays were what did you think about the two pass interference plays?
Well, so the first two, I felt like they very easily could have just picked them up, not even called them to begin with. The unsportsmanlike conduct was just stupidity. I understand why it happened. You're frustrated. You feel like you've already lost the game before they've even kicked it. I kicked the field goal.
That
I
was
get
Bosa, right?
all of that.
That was the roughing the passer play, Nick Bosa.
No. They called unsportsmanlike conduct. There was like literally the Bills player stood right in front of the official and slammed his
right.
helmet down like right in front of him because he was arguing, I guess,
Okay.
about the previous, PI. Like he was livid. I forgot the name of the player. Forgive me, but it just that you could have completely done without. Like that costs your team. I understand they were already in field goal range. I understand that they more than likely are losing the game anyway. You're completely deflated and PO'd about what happened on the field in the plays prior, but you don't give them the free yardage like that. And on top of that, but I said it. If you're a Buffalo fan, you have a legitimate gripe, and
Dude.
I and you don't have very many explanations from the league either, which, and listen, and we were saying this, both of us would love nothing more than for Buffalo to lose. Like, division rival, I'm not really a fan of the team. I thought that they were going to make the Super Bowl. I really did. I thought this was the year, like you said.
Yeah.
But
we had no dog in the fight, but I root for fairness in this league. I think they got screwed. I don't care for Buffalo. I just want to see consistency. That's all I want from the officiating. And I want the broadcast teams to call out something if they see that something can be ultimately questioned. Why are you immediately agreeing with what's happening on the field? It's okay to question something, So
afterwards, also, I don't know if you noticed, but on Twitter and social media, Steratore doubled down.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah, no, he did. They basically, well, it's very, very easy for people to capture one frame when you look at it in real speed. Well, guess what, Gene? That's the whole flipping point of replay to begin with, so
Right.
that you can freeze the frames down and you can see that, for a half a frame, it looks like he had possession. Well, guess what? Not for nothing, that Butte catch, like in the end zone today that they had, it sure looked like the ball dragged on the ground for a half a second or two. I'm not saying in the end of the day that just going by the rules that still wouldn't have been ruled a completion, but you can definitely open up the realm of possibility to say that it wasn't. Like you said, I think we looking at these rules, these plays can be called either way. And I don't understand how anyone could just say, oh, definitively, that's definitely a catch, or that definitely was a interception, or that, like, you got to be kidding me. But for them to, once again, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but for them to not even review the damn play, it's just, it gives everybody a really, really bad luck. Shame on you, NFL. Really, shame on you.
Yep. Past few years, I mean, Josh Allen has made it. I mean, he just failed to convert on that fourth down last year's playoffs. The year before that against Kansas City, it's like he's given all these opportunities, and just the Bears the Bills just end up shooting themselves in the foot. Just nothing cracks their way. It's just they're trying to. I feel like they're just unintentionally trying to break the record for most playoff losses, and it's just a tough spot, man. I feel like Josh Allen is going to go down as one of those all-time great quarterbacks that just never won the big game. Like, in his defense, like, you got to tip your cap to, like, Brady and Mahomes for just getting it done, not letting anything stand in between them. Okay, so something doesn't go their way, they're going to figure out how to win it. You just got to be.
I saw an interesting tweet, and I'm paraphrasing it here. But Brady had 7 Super Bowls, and you take away the tuck rule and they don't even make it to one of those Super Bowls. That Brady rule. You take away 28-3 against Atlanta if they just ran the ball the right way. And that shouldn't have even been a contest. What was the other one? I want to say there was another Super Bowl. Oh, if Seattle ran the ball in that Super Bowl. So you could have potentially, their Super Bowl swung on one play.
Really?
That's how
really
close
did.
the game was when you really think about it. He could have had 4 Super Bowls. And I'm not saying that still isn't phenomenal.
Right.
But a few plays could have made the difference between him being the GOAT and at the very least there being a conversation. And listen, we both got to watch him torch our team for years and years and years and years and years. I know how great of a player Tom Brady was. I'm not even questioning it. But when you think about that at the same time, look how close the legacy could have changed slightly, if not for a few plays.
A couple plays. That is a great point.
So I think you're right. I think Josh Allen might go down as another Dan Marino. Great guy. Maybe he'll make it to like 1. Like that's the hope. You know what I mean? That
I hope so.
he just makes it to 1, and you guys can have your day. And Buffalo fans, my heart does go out to you, even though you're a division rival. You had 3 brutal losses in the 90s. You had great teams, great offensive teams that just never got over the finish line.
Yep.
Now you've got the best quarterback in the league, and for some reason or another, every single year, just something comes back to bite you in the rear. And not for nothing also, for really looking at just this game, there were a few plays he could have made in overtime on that last drive before the interception of Cooks. There were a couple of other plays that were out there that could have been made by the team that could have swung the ball in the other direction.
Yeah.
You go back 2 years ago, you prevent Kansas City from getting down the field and scoring a touchdown in 17 seconds. 17, like Josh Allen didn't let your team down there. You let Tyreek Hill score a touchdown, if I'm remembering correctly. Like they scored in like 11 seconds. It was like something absurd. Like how do you let them get all the way down the field on you and score a touchdown in that short of amount of time? It's unbelievable.
Dude, there was one point in that game, right? I think there was like 20, like this is when I just walked into my house, right? Like right after my shift. I walked in, like I had to see all the clips on Twitter of the interception and all that. There was like 20 seconds to go in the 4th when I walked in, and like he overthrew Knox and he was like wide open. And I was like, okay, that's it. They're not winning this game. It's impossible. You failed. That's the missed opportunities we're talking about. Like that was a layup, dude. That could have been the game right there. At the end of the day, man, what's sad and pathetic is that the Jets still have more rings than the Bills at this point. 1-0.
Jesus Christmas. Wow, talk about rubbing salt in the wound there.
I got it. I had to, but
sorry, Buffalo fans. Listen. Don't jump down my throat on that one. That was all Mike. I'm not even trying to throw you under the bus, man. You're doing it to yourself.
That's tough.
The other 2 games, honestly, like as much as
hold on, we still got more to talk about this game.
Oh, you still want to talk about more about these Bills?
Not the Bills, the Broncos.
Oh, the Broncos. Oh yeah. Well, listen, instant karma.
Instant karma.
You're now Bo Nix out. Injured. Did you even see what happened on that play? Have they shown like footage of him like breaking his ankle?
I mean, the only thing I saw was he took a kneel like at the end of the game, or I don't know. It was like right before the kick
to set him up for the field goal. He kneeled
looked
it down.
Weird getting up, but he walked off on his own power. He fractured his ankle. I guess it's not a full on break, so it must be like a chip or something. I don't know.
But season over.
Season over. And now you have I don't even know who this guy is. Jarrett Stidham. Apparently he was drafted by the Patriots in 2019.
He was, yeah.
He's only had 4 career starts. Where did he go to school? He went to Texas Tech University. Okay, and then played in Baylor.
Auburn? Did he play in Auburn? For some reason, I feel like no, he didn't. Okay, whatever, doesn't matter.
Oh no, he did. He bounced around, man. He played at Baylor, Auburn. What did he get drafted?
Had to have been like, I want to say like 5 or 6 years ago now at this point.
No, he got drafted
Longer?
in 2019
10 years ago?
with the Patriots.
2019?
He was selected by the New England Patriots with the 133rd pick in the 4th round in the 2019 NFL draft.
2019, so 7 years.
He's bounced around. He was on the Patriots for a couple years, Raiders. He's been on the Broncos since 2023. Apparently, the Broncos head coach has confidence in him, right? So we were talking about this on the live earlier. I feel like they're not very quarterback dominant, right? They have an offensive scheme where you don't need to stuff the stat sheet if you're a quarterback. You kind of let your playmakers do their thing. Bo Nix doesn't light up the stat sheet. He has a great record. He has his games here and there, but he has all the confidence in the world in this guy, apparently. That's kind of tough. Like, could he step up? I'm going to ask you this. Could he step up and be the next Nick Foles or the next Jeff Hostetler?
It's so funny that you just mentioned that, because I was just about to say, Nick, did you see Nick Foles actually tweeted?
No.
Did you see what he tweeted?
No, I didn't.
He said something to the effect of, like, my heart goes out to you Broncos fans, but if it makes you feel any better, history suggests that the New England Patriots aren't the best against backup quarterbacks.
I love it.
So Nick Foles entered the chat on that one, and to answer your question, anything can happen in the NFL. It's such a week-to-week thing, and I'll tell you what, if you want a path for them to win the game, certainly their defense is going to have to answer the call.
Oh, of course.
They're gonna have to limit Drake May, and they're gonna have to play mistake-free football. I'd expect them to lean heavily on their run game. I don't think you want this guy throwing 30-plus passes to win. And who knows? Listen, you don't know what this guy can bring to the table. There's a reason he's a backup.
Mm-hmm.
Both pro and con. Obviously, they think he can hum along and move the ball down the field enough for them to be competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not forget, this team won 13 games. They're good.
Yeah.
They're not a bad football team. So could they beat New England? Absolutely. They absolutely could. Do I think he's going to come in and light them up for 400 yards? Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, if that's your game plan heading into the game and your path to victory, I think you lost already. And I think the only other thing I would say is, I kind of texted this to you. I think I texted this to you, but I've been chatting with a bunch of people, and I've said, heading into the game, like today's games, I just said, I don't think either team, New England or the Texans, whoever wins this is going to lose the next game. Mm-hmm. So that was just my gut after the news broke about Knicks. So we shall see.
Can we?
What do you think? Honestly, what do you think about the situation?
Well, I think the Pats are going to roll over the Broncos. I mean, it's looking like it. But real quick, can we just backtrack and talk about Sean Payton for a little bit? The way he announced that injury was just so weirdly timed. He just stepped up to that podium and he just announced, like, when Bo Nix was getting his surgery, like they already looked at, like, his x-rays and, like, oh yeah, we have the schedule for Tuesday and he's out for the season. You couldn't relish the win for like a day before announcing it. Like, he just threw it all out there, like blew up Bo Nix's situation. Everybody, he wasn't hiding anything. It reminded me of, like, a hypothetical situation of, like, let's say, like, your boy gets married, right, and you're the best man, right, and then you catch the bride during the reception banging the busboy in the bathroom, and then you're going up and blowing up that whole situation. Like, that's what that reminded me of. Like, shit. Like, you gotta feel for Bo Nix, but like,
What did you get in your creative writing class in college?
I did. You know what? I did minor in English, so. You know what? This is.
That was very vivid. I like the example, bro.
I don't think I've ever told you this, but like I was like too dumb in school to like pass business school, so I failed business school. But I was an exceptional writer, like in my high school days and like college, and I liked English classes. Those were like the few classes I actually like paid attention in because I liked writing so much. So, and I ended up with a sociology degree. So I don't know how that happened, but I didn't want to be an English teacher, so. But yeah.
But no, I mean, after all's said and done, I that sort of stuff doesn't bother me. I feel like Sean Payton's earned enough respect in this league to kind of play that as close to the vest or the way that he feels is best for the team. If it was Aaron Glenn making that call, I would have completely went in another direction. But I feel like the great coaches have their fingers on the pulse of their team. I figured he probably was just trying to get ahead of it. And you want to know what? Think about it this way. You have this news at your fingertips. You know it's not good news. And I understand you're riding high after a win. But you also want to reaffirm your belief in this team and in this backup quarterback.
Okay. That makes sense.
I don't know. I mean, that's just my take and read on the situation, but I certainly, just based on the way it all kind of broke out, that to me seems like the most logical explanation for it. But who knows? Who knows? Listen, maybe it was just very emotional. He overplayed his hand and said something that he didn't want to. I don't know.
Maybe he just wanted to get out in front of it and didn't want to answer questions later about it. Like, I don't know. Just weird.
Well, certainly,
timing.
if you announce who's going to be the quarterback next week already at this point, and you say we have all our eggs in this basket, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about, are they going to bring in Drew Brees? Are they going to bring in Phillip Rivers? Are they going to bring over some other retread? Who else is out there on the waiver wire?
You see all these tweets being like, Phillip Rivers can do the most funniest thing right now and sign with them, or like Drew Brees, and like, relax, it's not happening. There's backups for a reason. They're going to step up. They're game ready.
Phillip Rivers end the season on a roster anyway, so like that's I understand it's just people
are just trolling and getting traction on that, knowing that that's not even actually possible. But whatever. Kudos to them.
What's Brett Favre doing? Let's see if we could get him in there.
Yeah. What's John Elway up to? Actually, let's get him. Is he still part of that organization?
Yeah, I think he actually is. I think he's still president of operations or something.
Yeah. So, dude, I can't believe it. Like the Pats are just gonna get there again to the Super Bowl. Like this, I don't see it happening any other way. I feel like they're gonna roll over the Broncos, and just make it there again. Robert Kraft just wins all the time.
They very well could, and it doesn't feel like they deserve to get there.
Right.
But sometimes it be like that.
And why don't we just segue into that game? What were your takes on the game? I thought it was the sloppiest game of the entire year out of any team.
Well, they made note of it during the broadcast, but you also pointed it out when we were texting back and forth that 8 turnovers. They almost tied the record for most turnovers in a playoff game. And I understand
combined.
The conditions.
We're not talking about the Patriots.
Combined.
We're talking about combined.
But I understand the scenario was not ideal. They were not ideal conditions that they were playing in. But both teams could have done far better at protecting the ball. I felt like some of those turnovers, those fumbles, were just absolutely ridiculous. And there were a few that almost that like close calls on top of that, like that play that Will Anderson punched the ball out from Drake May and literally landed on top of the ball and somehow it squirted through and like down his leg. I still do not understand how he didn't recover that fumble. Literally dropped in his lap. So they could have hit the record there
Yeah.
very easily. There were a couple other plays that I'm trying to think of off the top of my head that could have easily gotten to 10 turnovers in that game. It was not well executed. The game was sloppy.
Yeah.
I never felt like the Texans ever had a shot in the second half.
No. I mean, every play, like every time CJ Stroud had the ball, it's like I felt like every other play they were going to lose possession of the ball, whether it was going to be a tip pass to a takeaway to a fumble. Like you said, the conditions didn't help, but you got to be, I don't know, you got to be more conscious and aware of your surroundings regardless. Like,
and I just don't think he delivered the ball well.
he didn't throw it with any zip today.
I did not see a quarterback that was playing confidently. I even look at the difference between C.J. Stroud and Josh Allen. I understand both guys lost the game, but if you're going to go down swinging. And Josh Allen, like we just said, he missed some throws out there too.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like C.J. Stroud just let it get to him more and more and more. He could have turned the team around. You know, you threw 4 interceptions in the first half, and your team was only down, 10, 11 points heading into the half. It was
close up until that fourth quarter.
It still wasn't, you still had a chance. Even midway through the third, you had a chance to win that game.
Yep.
You cut it to 8
at one point. It was one possession at one point.
So in spite of it, so go out there and swing for the fences, young man. Like, go out there and make a play.
They just couldn't establish a run game, and that's, I mean, when you have a quarterback that is lacking confidence, your running backs got to step up. Marks had a terrible game. Nick Chubb couldn't get anything going today. I mean,
and he fumbled, and Marks fumbled in plus territory when they were actually driving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not good,
Just
man.
Just not good. And Texans haven't advanced past the divisional round. That was one of the stats they threw up there. I think now they're 0-7. They were either 0-6 or 0-7 in divisional round games. So it's a shame. It really is. I love their defense. They play tough the entire year. They have a bright future. They have a good team, but certainly you have to start thinking that C.J. Stroud just might not be the answer at quarterback for that team. Dude.
The Texans are going to have some difficult decisions to make over this offseason about C.J. Stroud. He reminded me of like a deer in headlights. Like his decision making he didn't play with conviction today. Like, I don't care how bad the conditions were. Like, his reads weren't good. Like the accuracy obviously wasn't there. 4 like you said, 4 interceptions in the first half. That's embarrassing, dude. Man.
And I liked him coming out of Ohio State. I actually thought he was the best quarterback in that draft. But now I can see what Carolina saw in Bryce Young, and I can certainly see that the Texans might, like I just said, they might be looking for a quarterback in the somewhat near future.
They might have somebody on that roster already. Maybe Mills is that guy. I feel like he should have got a look in that game. I was expecting him to get pulled at one point.
I think if you do that, you hit the point of no return. You know what I mean? You go ahead and you do that in that big of a spot to that kid, and you'd want to talk about shattering someone's confidence.
Oof,
like
yeah.
you do that when you're ready to like completely move on. You know, if you're blown out by 30 points, I agree with you. Why the heck not, right? But if you're in a 2-score game and you decide to pull that guy out in the playoffs, no less, and he's not hurt, he isn't like banged up, you're basically set. That completely shatters the kid's confidence. I feel like they still roll with him to start the season next year, but if they get out to a slow start, or they're winning games but barely getting by because of his play, then yeah, I could see them going to Davis Mills, and you never know.
I mean, what were your thoughts on Drake May today? How did you think he played?
He played well enough for his team to win. I can't call it mistake-free football because it certainly wasn't. He's put the ball he's gotten very, very lucky. He's put the ball on the ground. I think he has the most fumbles. Not fumbles lost, but just fumbles out of any quarterback. So ball security is kind of sort of an issue a little bit, but he hasn't really paid for it that badly. So, and look, you have to take some bad with the good. He's an excellent quarterback. He can move the ball. He's so good generally on third down. And once again, I'm not trying to write off what mistakes he did make in that game, but at the same token, the conditions weren't ideal. Let's just face it. You can clearly see ball security was an issue for both teams, and you have to.
I don't understand.
Was the better quarterback.
He didn't impress me on the stat sheet. I mean, there's nothing to write home about. But given the conditions, right, both teams couldn't establish a run game. And you figure like that would be the only area of it like that you would thrive in. But no, both teams couldn't run the ball. It was really the defense that were controlling both sides of this game. On both sides. I mean, you had guys like Carlton Davis, Craig Woodson, Christian Gonzalez, Marcus Jones. They were going hard in the MF paint for the Patriots. My goodness, what a day they had. But I will say this: Drake May made his throws when he had to. He had a couple of touchdowns.
Well, he's been doing that all season. Yeah. And that pass he threw to Boutte was one of the nicest passes that we've seen in the playoffs.
That was nice.
Once again, talk about a somewhat. I think it was a catch. I do think it was a catch, but ball definitely looked like it hit the ground when he was kind of juggling it in the end zone.
Yeah.
Once again, though, listen, that wasn't. He put that ball out there where only the receiver can get it. It was a perfectly led pass. Mm-hmm. So give Drake May credit for making the throw and delivering on that one. To me that was the best pass that either quarterback threw during the game. Mm-hmm. So do I think that he can get away with having that performance this coming week? I mean, maybe if Stidham just completely lays an egg, but no. Do I think he needs to play better if he's gonna win the game next week? Absolutely, and certainly in the Super Bowl. I think, like, just to transition if we can. I mean, do you want to say anything else about that game?
Not really.
I'm just saying, like, the one team that I think we both slept on, ironically, no pun intended, is Seattle.
Yeah.
They played so well, and from the outset, it felt like San Francisco was just in for a real hell of a time.
Yeah.
I was texting
they set the tone.
That first play from the kickoff. The kickoff, dude. Like that was like, to me, that was like a metaphor for the entire game. Like Seattle running the ball, guys coasting to the end zone, and the kicker just tries to like pathetically flail and try to trip.
Trip him, yeah.
Trip the return, man. I've never seen anything like that, let alone in a playoff game. Like,
could you get called for like a personal foul for that? Like, I don't know how that works.
Oh, he got called for a penalty. Yeah, he got called for a personal foul.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he did. But it just felt like San Francisco had no chance in that game. It finally, all the injuries caught up to them. Brock Purdy didn't have a great game, and Seattle. Listen, and you forget how difficult it was to play in Seattle, especially during those Legion of Boom days. That 12th man,
Yeah.
it's a really, really tough stadium to go into and win a football game.
Yeah, that Legion of Boom team kind of remind me of what happened yesterday. That Seahawks defense is insane right now. Like they're really good. I don't think they're as good as Legion of Boom, but shoot, they're making a case.
That team is probably the most complete team left in the playoffs. And we both slept on them. Neither of us picked them to make it to the Super Bowl.
I'll eat my crow. I didn't. I in last week's pod, I didn't think. I mentioned I was like, I don't think Sam Darnold's ready yet. I don't think he's a confident football player in these type of spots. Given the fact that what happened last year, I mean,
but he didn't. He didn't need to be because San Francisco was doing absolutely nothing against that defense. Let's face it.
There's no stress.
But that being said, listen, something needs to be said about Sam Darnold. He had a really, really nice season last year in Minnesota. Justin Jefferson looked like the all-pro that he was. Did not look so this year with a rookie quarterback throwing him the ball. Mm-hmm. And now you come out and
you had Walker carry
you come out and you turn JSN into the didn't he lead the league in yardage this year?
Yeah, he was like top 3, I think, at least.
I don't even think it was. I think he was probably one of, if not the best receiver in the league this year, like point blank, from a production standpoint. So give this man his flowers.
Absolutely.
Remember,
they didn't even need to use him. They didn't even need to use him that much. I mean, you had guys like Walker just carry them. You had 3 TDs yesterday on the ground. Like, what did Smith
and Charbonnet? I don't know if he did much of anything yesterday, but like that's a 2-headed monster at running back too.
Yeah.
Dude, how depressing is it as a Jet fan that you got Darnold in the NFC Championship game, the coach that you wanted coaching your team,
coaching your rival team,
coaching your rival in the AFC Championship game. You have Rob Saleh about to get a coaching job, more than likely, with one of these teams.
Yep.
And here we are on the outside looking in the same familiar place that we've always been.
And we're here just signing guys like Bailey Zappi, just leftover scraps, practice squad teams. Like, things just never get better, ever. And the more I watch these games, I just realize the gap between the Jets are over here, and every other team is like way up here as far as like talent, skill, scheme, confidence. Like, we don't belong in this league. Like, we're that bad. It's just...
I don't even, and the worst part is, like, I don't even think we do anything particularly well. I don't think we have a skill group that's that good.
Nope.
Like, there's nothing you could point to that's like, oh, well, at least we have this.
At least we have this to hang our hat on. No, we have nothing. We have a special teams core. But that's not going to help us win games.
It's easy when you're getting all these points scored against you, and you gotta return the ball too. That could be part of all of this. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, it is depressing. And we just so happen to get the second pick in the draft this coming year, and Dante Moore just decides to go back to school. So now there's no top QB available for us. So we're either going to trade back and shore up a lot of defense and a lot of holes that we have right now. I don't really even want to talk about the Jets situation. We could actually talk about that next week. I think the division. I think that we'll center our conversation around the division, teams. But I'll just say one last thing about the Jets. Just nothing ever breaks our way. That's just a given.
I think that the GM was very much aware, and I'll even say Aaron Glenn. I think they were very much aware that this was a rebuilding year. I think he realizes anyway that he doesn't have the infrastructure in place to welcome a young quarterback and develop him right now. I think we've kind of went over that ad nauseum over the last several weeks.
Yeah.
But if you can get your hands on a guy, like the only thing I see right now happening with them, and I know we'll move on, so I'm not going to dwell on this. The only chance I see them of developing a quarterback or grabbing one at this moment in time is potentially with Ty Simpson. Because if you look, I don't want to give a full breakdown. If you look at all the teams that are, you could go down the list of teams that need a quarterback, and based on who the board, who's on the board as of right now, would even draft a quarterback. And outside of the Cardinals, right, and the Raiders, who are more than likely picking Mendoza. If they don't, like, that would be the biggest shocking upset that I could ever possibly imagine. But you go down the list, all these other teams have quarterbacks on their roster that you would think are better than, say, like Ty Simpson. So if the Jets actually think that, hey, now that you know who's in the draft in terms of underclassmen and the upperclassmen for that matter, the only other guy that you would draft in the first round this year would be him.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he's in play with that Indy pick. But outside of that, I think you're putting all your eggs in either a veteran and a bridge quarterback going into next year, or and focusing on 2027, or you're going to trade for one of these guys, and it would scare the crap out of me. All these guys are on the market for a reason. So, whatever. Let's talk about more.
Let's get to the
more
Bears,
high level
Rams.
football.
Let's go to the Bears Rams. This was the game I was waiting on all week. Ever since Liam Cohen and the Jags got eliminated, I pivoted to the Bears. That was my pick, or I was hoping to go all the way, because it would have been a great story. A lot of good content could have came of that, but it wasn't meant to be. They got bounced in the game, 20-17. It was a back and forth affair, a lot of 3-and-outs, good defense, the first half of the game, snowy, icy conditions. Both teams had established a good running game. There was a lot of ground and pound. Caleb Williams, 14-21, 161 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception that ultimately decided the game. That was his only mistake, I feel like. Was that big interception in overtime. So
you have to take the good with the bad, because I don't mind him. You hate to see a guy make a mistake first and foremost, but without that 4th and 4 play, that beautiful dot to the back of the end zone of Cole Kmet, you weren't even in that situation. And let's just talk about that play for a hot minute.
Whew.
3 defenders closing in on you. You're throwing the ball to the back of the end zone
off balance
from your own from the 40-yard line. He was back to the 40-yard line when he twisted and turned and tried to evade those guys. And you had 3 guys closing in on you. For him to throw that ball the way that he did and place it so perfectly, dude, I don't know too many people that could ever make that throw.
Unbelievable throw. I mean, they tied the game. How much time was left at that time? At that point, was it under 2 minutes?
I think there was only like 18 seconds left, right? There was 18 seconds when he caught the ball.
Yeah. And we were thinking to ourselves, we were live streaming and we had the watch party. You also follow our TikTok, by the way. We were live streaming it, and I was under the impression they're going to go for their 8th comeback victory, down in the 4th quarter, but it wasn't meant to be, man.
Listen, maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but I said this to you, but like we have the receipts on this one. I was saying go for 2. There's not a lot of time left on the clock. If you're going to go down swinging. Don't even give the Rams. I mean, obviously, both teams had a chance to possess the ball in overtime anyway, but you have them on their heels in that situation. You've been aggressive all year.
Right.
Go for 2. End it.
Dude, if you don't convert on that,
you lose.
Yeah, and then you have all of 68,000 people in that stadium on your ass. You don't leave that stadium without a gun. I don't like. You need Secret Service.
Do you feel any better about the way they lost, and it all played out?
Ultimately, no.
A loss is a loss, dude.
A loss is a loss. I get it.
You give your team. I don't know. Like I said, But hand to God, that was my initial gut reaction. I referenced it like multiple times, like on the drive. I'm like, listen, if there's not a lot of time left, screw it. Go for it. Go for it. You've been aggressive. Would you go for it on 4th and 2?
How many fourth and shorts did they convert in that game? They went
I
for it
think
a
you
couple
looked it up.
times.
I think they were either like 2 for 5 or 3 for 6 after that conversion.
Oh, let me see team stats. Fourth down conversions. They were 3 of 6, dude. Wow.
So they obviously were aggressive the entire game, and you said it early in the game, by the way, because they gave up points to go for it, and they didn't convert. So
yeah, that's 6 points or 7 points that they left on the table, right? Or 6 points.
6, two field goals they could have taken potentially.
Something to think about.
Listen, you're not completely wrong. I see the way that the NFL kind of is though, and they kind of the 3 is not a preferred. You're more likely to convert. The numbers, I guess, somehow support it. Amazon Web Stats or whatever it is.
But Bears
suggest
fans,
you go for it.
Don't hang your hat. Don't hang your heads. You guys have a solid core, man. They didn't allow any sacks. That offensive line is not talked about enough. I feel like that offensive line protects Caleb Williams. They have a great receiving core. Colston, Loveland. You got obviously DJ Moore. You got guys that are making big time plays like Roma Odunze.
Odunze didn't even have his best season. I think his better days are ahead for him.
Right. Yeah.
And Luther Burden. Luther Burden looks like a baller, bro.
Yeah, he does. And you got guys like playmakers like Zacchaeus and Monagai and DeAndre Swift. They better like pay these guys. Like they need to keep these guys around for.
Well, they can. What? This was Caleb's second season.
Yeah.
They don't got to pay him for another 3 years. So.
Okay.
You could build a team around him in the next 3 years.
They do need to shore up their secondary though. Like they're giving up way too many passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, that's fair. That's 100% fair.
But it's a tough break, man.
Yeah, no, the future's bright for them. I would hope that we can even get to that point as Jets fans. Just that would be an accomplishment. Like that seems so far away from where we are. Like I would turn that in, and I would go for that in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, you're right. They have to shore up their defense. They can certainly afford to pay some of these guys because a quarterback on a rookie deal is the biggest value you could possibly have in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to take advantage of it. You got to take advantage of it now.
Yeah.
And honestly, the one guy that I feel like you could let go that's probably making a lot of money on that offense is DJ Moore at this point. I know he brings a lot to the table for them, but
he's not. You could
he's
tell
not.
Caleb
He's not
Williams
for
not
what you're paying him and what the
relying
production
on him
is
anymore. It used to be him just targeting DJ Moore, but now he's getting other guys involved. Like they're not solely relying. DJ Moore had the most receiving yards in this game, which was 43. And if you look at it compared to the other guys, he spread the ball around, bro, and he's been doing that the second half of this year. So yeah, they could shed some salary by getting rid of him, and shoring up defense.
I don't know. I mean,
I wouldn't do it.
That would be interesting. That would be interesting to ask, Bears fans. Like, would you rather see money allocated to shoring up that defense and just making that a point of emphasis at the expense of potentially like a DJ Moore? Because all those other guys, you're right. You nailed it. Loveland, rookie. Burden, rookie. Odunze, second-year player.
Mm-hmm.
Swift, I think, was a 1-year deal anyway. I would probably bring him back, but Monagai is a very, very good running back too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and the offensive line is very good. So yes, they listen. The future's bright. There's no other way to put it. but they have some questions heading into the offseason. But once again, I mean, I think those are good questions. It's a different scenario for, like, I don't want to completely go back, but the Bills. Bills are left scratching their head and, like, trying to figure out what they could possibly do. What more could they possibly squeeze out of that team? And it almost feels like it's pointless. Whereas, like, the Bears, even though you lost, like, it doesn't feel like it was heartbreaking for them. Feels like they'll be back.
Yep. Man, what a weekend. Good games. Got some good games to look forward to next weekend. I mean, I do want to touch on a little bit of basketball. Not too much, so because we're approaching the hour.
Well, before we do, if you would be so kind, what do you think happens in the championship games?
Oh, okay. So what are our matchups? We got the Pats
got New England and the Broncos.
I think the Pats roll over them. I don't think it's going to be even remotely close. And then it comes down to what? The Rams and Seahawks?
And Seattle.
That's going to be the game of the week.
And remember the last time those two teams played, it was an absolute... That went to overtime. That was an absolute, like, fireworks display.
What was the result?
Seattle won. Seattle won that game. But if there was a single team that I think could beat Seattle, it was the Rams.
I think Puka had a very pedestrian game against the Bears. I think he needs to step up next week. If they have a chance.
He had his probably best game of the season against Seattle the last time they played. He played like a man possessed.
That's the game we missed. We were at the party.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was he went off in that game.
I think he needs to repeat it. I mean, for them to have a chance. But obviously you got to get other guys involved. Parkinson's been solid. He needs to, keep that up. Matt Stafford. I mean, he didn't have like a great game against Chicago. This is a tough call. Who's at home? Seattle get home field?
Yeah, Seattle. Well, Seattle's the 1 seed. Yeah,
that's right. Damn, they got a tall order then. The way Walker's been playing and Jackson Smith, I can't pronounce his name, but I think they'll squeak it out by maybe a couple points. I got Seattle in that game.
So you think it's Seattle by a score?
Yeah, it's gonna be a repeat. Seattle and Pats in the Super Bowl.
So it's a Seattle Patriots Super Bowl, but meanwhile this time Seattle probably has the upper hand heading into it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think?
I can live with that. I can live with that. I still think that the Rams could beat Seattle. I feel less confident about it this week, but do I think, once again, it's football. Anything can happen, and they still have an excellent team. Mm-hmm. They still have a very, very well-rounded, complete team. Yeah. And I still do believe this. McVay's probably the best coach in the NFL. So.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's talk about the Knicks real quick. I'm just going to say this. So the Knicks have lost 8 of their last 10 games. This is new territory we haven't seen in a long time. Things are starting to get dark now. Karl Anthony Towns looks lost out there. Guys they're just not flowing on offense, especially with Jalen Brunson being out, Josh Hart being out. This team can't function without those two guys. You have posts from Mitchell Robinson just as early as an hour ago, posting farewell posts. He's obviously in his own feelings. I feel like news is going to come of this. Mitchell Robinson is not in a good space right now mentally. I don't know if a trade's coming, but by what he's saying in these posts, and I'll post it right here on the screen, it looks like he's on the move. Now, this could be Mitchell Robinson just posting some BS to get some traction because he loves trying to promote his TikTok, and that's his thing. And the way to do that is to be very controversial, and he's very good at that. It could not be basketball related, but it can also. He's posting farewell pictures in the captions with Deuce McBride, Jordan Clarkson, pictures with Brunson. You just go check his IG right now. Something is going to come of this, I feel like, and I'm not looking forward to it. Could we see a big trade coming?
I feel like the only way, and we kind of discussed this, but I feel like the only way that Mitch gets moved is in more of a bigger trade. I don't see him being the standalone piece in a trade because, as we've already kind of discussed, what he brings to the table for the Knicks is what you currently need on this team. You need better defense. You need some sort of presence in the interior. You need rebounding. So if you're going to trade a guy like him away, I almost feel like it has to be him and another one of these pieces for a superstar. And I don't necessarily know what that brings back, but I'd be shocked if you went for two smaller pieces for Mitch. It just wouldn't make sense to me.
What's pissing me off about this whole thing, dude? It's like you have superstars on our team who are being paid $50 plus million a year or more. A cat, who are not buying into Mike Brown's system. And who's going to be taking the fall for this? It's going to be Mitch, because he's the only tradable piece right now to get somebody special in this team. Like, that's not fair to Mitch, man. It really isn't. You know he wants to be here.
The other guy in all of this, like, that I don't feel like has been, I just feel like he hasn't played like as well in all of this. I feel like OG's kind of like an odd man out right now. I'm not saying he hasn't had his good moments.
He has good games and then really shitty games. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like Bridges has played well this season. I
wouldn't even go that far, dude. I think he's left a lot on the table to be desired. They all need to step up, man.
Well, I mean, I guess really, and I'll trust you because you have your finger a little bit more on the pulse. I've been following it, but you were really, it's like it's in your blood right now. Mm. So if you're telling, like, if all of these guys are having their stretches where they're all not playing good basketball at the same time, it seems like it was after this NBA Cup where everything started to shake like a little, loose.
That's a great point.
And
dude.
Listen, there's still plenty of basketball left to be played, and it's not like they're in danger of missing the playoffs at this point. And I don't honestly care if they're a 7 seed or they're the 2 seed. Like, it really doesn't matter to me once you're in the playoffs. Would I like them to have, more games at home than on the road? Yeah, I guess. But at the end of the day, like, it's not like football where if you're the 8 seed, you're never hosting a playoff game. You just need to get in at this point, and you just want to be playing good basketball when you get in. You want your guys to be healthy, and you want to be playing good complementary basketball. I feel like all teams go through these good and bad stretches throughout the season, but at the end of the day, I do agree with you. I think that there has to be something. Something's got to give. There's got to be a move made here. I think we're past the point. I think at the beginning of this 10-game stretch, you could have said, all right, let's just see what we got here. Let's just get through this patch. Kind of before this road trip when we were talking about it. They need to play above 500 basketball.
They couldn't even do that.
I'd be worried.
Yeah, and now we're worried.
And here we are. Yeah, no, and rightfully so.
The Knicks woke up today. Third in the Eastern Conference, right? But there's 2 games that separate them from the play-in. It's so tightly contested now with the 3 through 8 seed. We could lose a couple of more games in a row, and then we're in the 8 seed. That's how bad it's gotten. And then you have teams like the Pistons who are just running away with the East at this point. Their record's 30-10 right now. Something's got to give, like you said. Not good, man. And with all this stuff coming out with Mitch, something's on the horizon very soon, I feel like. And, this team's going to look a lot different in February, I think. So.
Maybe so. And it's incredible how, like, 1 or 2 weeks can swing in a completely different direction. It really is incredible, especially at the deadline. Listen, I have a lot of confidence in this team still. There's too much talent on this team to underachieve. And the guys that they have on the roster, they're good, hardworking guys. These guys aren't like prima donna stars. This is that UConn blue collar, duke it out team. That's the way they were in college. That's the way they are as pros. That's the leader of your team in Brunson. That's the way that he laces them up every single time he's out there on the court. Mm-hmm. So as long as Brunson stays healthy and as long as the team stays healthy, I think they're going to figure it out. I think you hit the nail on the head, though. I think that Cat isn't fully bought into the system. He's obviously struggling in it. And I think we're kind of at a crisis, kind of a crossroads here. Like, are you going to do you want to be on your third team in, as many years, pretty much? Like, because it didn't work out in Minnesota and now it's not working out in New York and now you're going to go to another team. Like, is that what you want your legacy to be? Especially being a New York it's from New Jersey, but you know what I mean. Like you come from this area, you know how big this team is to the city, especially right now. Like, don't you want to be a part of this? Play the basketball that you're being asked to play.
Yeah, you get
play
paid,
a little more defense.
You get paid a fortune to play a kid's game. Buy into the system, please. That's all I'm asking you. You have all the talent in the world. Just listen to somebody else's input. You've played with coaches your entire career who cater your lifestyle, cater to your play style. It's time for you to adapt, dude. You haven't won a championship yet. Try something else, okay? This guy, Mike Brown, despite what you think of him right now, he is a proven winner. He has multiple rings. He's been on championship teams. Buy in now or get the F out. I don't care anymore. It's something's got to give. Now, I will say, I'm going to call out a few people on Twitter. I've been seeing a lot of posts, a lot of sentimental, like, throwback posts to Julius Randle and saying, like, oh, we should have never traded for this guy. This guy always put in 100% effort all the time. His effort level was never questioned. Give me a break. You had this guy flipping off fans in the middle of the Garden because things weren't going his way. The guy would barely ever play defense. Miss me with that. Come on.
Can you really even question that Randall is more skilled than Cat?
No.
Like,
he's a more aggressive player. He's a more aggressive player.
Julius Randle is the definition of, like, bully ball.
Yeah.
Julius Randle is Zach Randolph with a better attitude.
With a better jump shot.
And a better jump shot. That's what Julius Randle is. Now, listen, I'm thankful for his time in New York.
Oh, me too. Don't get me wrong. I love the play.
And he was one of the guys that was willing to come here when no one else wanted to come here and build this team back up. And listen, I will give him a ton of credit for coming in here and saying, I will be the man. And he had that MVP caliber season that first year. But let's face it, in the playoffs, when they relied on him to carry the team, he couldn't do it.
Right.
He hit a roadblock. So he was never going to be that guy for you at the end of the day. And I think everyone saw that. And I think it had run its course. And I don't think he'd be any better in this system than Cat is.
No.
So,
but maybe DiVincenzo would.
Yeah, but once again,
But we have so many players like him right now, like
yes,
Shamet.
That's what I was going to say. You can find a guy like him, maybe not exactly him, but like him.
Right.
Jose Alvarado would be like Dante DiVincenzo.
Yeah.
So please, like, you don't need Dante DiVincenzo on this team to get you over the hump. That's not what's going to do it for you. but I agree with you. I think that there is a finishing piece that could come onto this roster, and it's not on it yet, just based on what we're looking at right now. And honestly, I would just be happier if they just started playing better basketball at the end of the day. That's really what it boils down to. You and I think we're both in agreement on that.
Yep, and I feel like the Knicks right now, like the players and coaching staff, are counting their lucky stars that it just so happened that this losing streak is happening while John Harbaugh was just offered a position to the Giants on the same weekend as where they lost like 8 out of 10. Well, their 8th game out of 10. And I feel like it could have been way worse had that not happened for the Giants. So Giants/Knicks fans, they're probably less mad at the Knicks now because they're kind of in high spirits with the signing. So congratulations to you guys. Things continue to get better for you. You have your star quarterback. Happy for you guys. Now you got a CEO type of head coach that is going to control pretty much everything and just report to John Mara from what it sounds like.
And in case you were wondering could this possibly work? Look no further than the New York Jets and how great of a success they've been with the owner and with the coach and the GM reporting separately to the owner. That's all you need to know about that.
Sure.
No, listen, you had to back up the Brinks truck, and then you also had to give the guy the complete autonomy that and honestly, it's not like Joe Shane has wowed you to the point where, like, I understand you retained him, but basically you're going to collaborate with Harbaugh, and at the end of the day, he's not coming here unless he's completely confident that he's getting the autonomy that he wants.
I think he's going to get final say when it comes to draft picks. They're giving him the keys to the truck. Joe Shane is just like an accessory to him, I feel like.
He's executing. He's the lawyer that's executing.
He's the one drawing up the paperwork for
it. Exactly. Exactly.
There's no way it's the other way.
I think you're right. And I don't want to, honestly, it's not, I think, worth completely writing home about, but a quick mention in the same news cycle also, that Rangers letter that came out with Rangers fans, I'm sorry, but out of the same building as the Garden, you have Chris Drury penning yet another letter about how this will not be a rebuild.
Not a rebuild.
No, guys.
But what, Justin?
It's a retool.
It's different, y'all. They're not gutting the team.
It's completely different. And if you believe that, I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you, my friends. Like, come on. Like, this man, if I don't care, rebuild, retool, call it whatever you want, you're about to blow up this roster. And honestly, like, here's the other thing about the Rangers, and I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to delve too deeply into this. Nothing has shown me that this team is able to develop young talent.
They haven't, dude.
Nothing. They've not been good at that. They've not been.
Lafreniere, like, none of these guys who were top 2 picks in the draft.
And not only that, dude.
Total bust.
But like even some of these teams, like, where's the like the hidden gem? You know, where's a later draft pick that ended up working his way up through your system? And
that was going to be Rempe, right? Can we get rid of that experiment, please? Is that done now?
You could use a goon on your roster, like,
he doesn't do anything.
Listen,
he
I don't want
barely
to
knows how to skate.
You can't teach 6'8", 6'7", whatever, however tall he is, and dude obviously has a mean left hook. But listen, there's always going to be a place like that on the bench. No one's expecting this guy to be the next. I don't even know what you could call it. Listen, you know what he is. He's a big body. He's a bruiser. And no, do I think that he's going to dominate the NHL for years to come? No, but he can provide some use for you. You're not going to sign him for $8 million a season, but once again, no. Listen, this is gonna be a long rebuild, retool. This is going to be a long retooling, and it's a shame too, because a lot of their players were hurt this year. They never even I feel like they never even had their full roster.
Right.
And yet here we are, You're going to probably trade away Mika. You're going to trade away Panarin.
Hopefully
Potentially
they can
JT
trade him.
Miller.
Hopefully
You're
they
going to
can
trade
trade
Trocheck
Panarin.
probably.
Yeah, Trocheck's not been doing great this year. Like they're gutting
So
this core. I feel like they're only the main core they're keeping is Shesterkin, JT Miller, maybe Fox. I don't know. But if you
and
guys,
Fox is hurt right now. You can't
yeah,
even really trade him.
and if you guys are
So
keeping score at home in the last 86 years, so since World War II, basically, they've only amassed one Stanley Cup, and we've had 2 letters since then. So more letters than cups now. So things aren't going great.
that's
For
the
the
math
Rangers.
behind that one.
Yeah, it's the way it's been.
So, but listen, that takes a little fire out of the Knicks situation for now. Combine that with the fact that there's plenty of season left. We're not down the stretch, so it's the games aren't quite as. While they count, it's not. You're not quite as impacted by it. You feel like there's time for them to turn it around. Like I said, let's just see them start playing a little bit better basketball, getting back to Knicks basketball again, and
I'm still holding the faith, dude. I'm still holding the faith, but
what else can you do at this point in time? I wouldn't call it gloom and doom.
No, it's not to that point. We're before the All-Star break. If this was happening in like the latter half of the second half of the season, it'd be no good. But just like you said, there's still plenty of basketball left, and they have time to turn it around. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens in the next couple weeks. But I think we're gonna call it there, dude. This is like our longest pod ever. We're at the hour and 16-minute mark. So shout out to us. Yeah.
Wow.
So
okay, lucky 7.
Yeah.
Lucky episode 7.
I appreciate everybody that's tuned in to all the way up to this point. If you have, you're a goat. If you're new to the podcast, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, comment. If you disagree with us, we'd love to hear your opinions. If you wanna, if you want us to focus on other things, just let us know. We love input. Make sure you go follow our Twitter, our TikTok. We're going to be posting some short form content there. We usually do it daily, and we go live on YouTube and TikTok now. So we just had our first stream about a couple hours ago, so that was fun. Any last words, Justin?
Nah, let's listen. I enjoyed the live stream. I think we'll do it again. Next week for the games?
Yeah.
So we'll have a little bit of fun with you guys. And yeah, just listen. Peace and love. Like and follow. Keep on keeping on and keep your chin up. Keep your chin up.
Yes, it will get better, Knicks fans. Trust me. But
yeah.
Jets fans, maybe not, but we're used to it.
No, absolutely. Listen, I am not. Unfortunately, I am not. I have zero confidence that team turns it around in the near future. But we'll see.
We will see. All right, everyone. We're out. Peace.